Awesome. Joined here by Parker McKenna, linebacker at Washington State University, going to be a redshirt senior. First off, how are things going right now? It's the middle of summer, getting closer every day to fall. How are things?
They're going good. They're going good. The workouts are going great. The player-led practices, I think everyone's pretty bought in right now. So, um, yeah, I think things are going really well.
Quick question though. You mentioned player-led practices. Was this a thing under the previous regime too in the summer? Is it kind of par for the course with summer and football?
Yeah, we did something similar last year. Just kind of like 7-on-7 team, and it's good for me because it's a new defense. So, sort of just seeing like fast pace, the O line, and our fits as a defense has been really good. So.
What's the report date when you guys start fall camp?
We start, I want to say the 30th of July. So
Okay, 2 weeks.
Yep.
Is it like Christmas? Are you crossing out X's on your calendar?
You have an advent calendar.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
countdown.
football advent calendar.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, we'll get into a bit of this upcoming season and what that looks like. But let's get into a bit of your story and how you got to this point. I know you grew up in Beaverton, Oregon, a little closer to my neck of the woods. I'm up here in Clark County, Washington. So let's start with your journey getting to Portland State, eventually transferring to Washington State. Walk us through that upbringing and how you got into football.
Yeah. So I got into football. My dad really, he played football at Ohio University. So since fourth grade, I've just been all football. And then, in high school, didn't really have any offers till my senior year. Had some Division III offers going into senior year. I think I was like a 2-star recruit or whatever. Had a pretty good senior year, breakout senior year, and then I was fortunate to get a partial scholarship from Portland State. Took that, and then from there, was at Portland State for 3 years, I think, and then got here about a year and a half ago. So,
walk us through your experience at Portland State. What was it like to play? I mean, I know Portland State University is right in downtown Portland. So what was that experience like?
Yeah, it's different. It's probably what you hear is a lot of homeless people, a lot of guys walking around our practice barefoot, naked. You see some weird stuff, but you kind of get used to it. Really, like I think as a freshman, like you'd have some homeless people screaming at you. It's kind of like, geez, like you kind of get scared, but you get used to it. But
gets
the
you ready
food
for
down
game day
there,
a little bit.
huh?
Yes, people screaming at you.
Yeah, well, we played in Hillsboro, so it was like a 20-minute drive from from Portland. Yeah, but incredible food out there. Wow. But yeah, Portland State. Yeah, met a lot of good people down there. I would say, yeah, I really enjoyed my time there for sure. And then being close to home was great. Driving 15 minutes to my mom's house, getting the home cooked meal, getting my laundry done. So there's definitely some pros to being that close to home.
Yeah, now you guys play in Hillsboro, like right next to the Hillsboro Hop Stadium.
Yeah.
So walk us through your freshman year, running out onto the college football field for the first time, game day, whether it's at Hillsboro for Portland State or you're starting to travel around and to all of these Big Sky opponents.
Yeah. So my first game as a true freshman, we played at University of Hawaii. So it was pretty cool. We got down there like 4 days early. We were walking around the beach, just having a good time. So that was pretty cool. It was during COVID though, and I think Hawaii was very strict about the COVID rules or whatever it was. So it was kind of strange. There was no fans. They had like the fan noise, I remember. And this is 2021. So that was my first game, and it was kind of weird. And then funny enough, my second game I played at Washington State against Delora, and then I think Max Borghi was the running back at the time. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. But
what was it like to try to tackle Borghi?
He was pretty good. I actually made him fumble, believe it or not, first drive of the game, 2021. But yeah, no, he was a good player. I think he hurdled one of our players like twice in the same game. So yeah, he was pretty good. He was a good running back. But I remember it felt like the Super Bowl, as a freshman. But
yeah.
Fast forward to that final year at Portland State, you become a Big Sky honorable mention, 75 tackles, and take us through maybe at that end of the season. Were you starting to feel like, hey, like I'm a guy that can play at the next level in terms of college football, moving up a division, or did it really kind of hit you once the season ended?
Yeah, so I would say it was kind of in my mind towards the end of the season, but I really like my linebackers coach, Coach Parker Henry, and he actually played here at Washington State.
Yeah.
I played with him in high school.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Skyview then, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a hell of a coach, and I think he was, yeah, maybe overqualified to be at Portland State. But I was thinking about staying maybe just for him, and then he took a job over at Nevada. So I think once that happened, I knew like, okay, I should probably transfer. And then really out Nevada, he offered me when he went to Nevada. But I just felt like this was such a cool opportunity that I couldn't pass up. So I ended up taking this offer. But yeah, Coach Henry, great coach. Yeah.
So kind of go into more of that. Yeah, the decision. So what I guess elevated WSU? Did Parker even say like, hey, like that's a great spot too, or was he not really trying to?
Was he reminiscing while he was coaching with you guys?
Yeah. I don't know. He definitely wasn't like upset about it just because he loves. I think he told me he bleeds crimson and gray. So, yeah, we talked on the phone a lot when I was in the portal, and he was saying sort of they got some guys that have played a lot of snaps there. So he wanted me to come to Nevada for sure, and I definitely really considered it, but I just felt like I think Coach Witt came down to my house the day after I entered the portal, and I just felt like Washington State, like they really want me, and this is it just felt right, so I really couldn't pass it up. But yeah, Coach Henry, he definitely wasn't upset about the decision either. So.
And he was known as the Bulldog during his time at Washington State.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, just his coaching style, was he like a lead by example, lead by, vocal?
Yeah. I would say so. He always tried to get me to kind of speak up a little bit more. I was kind of more reserved, but yeah, I think he liked the way I played, just sort of. And the thing about Coach Henry, he really let me just play ball, which I really appreciate. He just sort of, he would try to get me, Parker, you got to play lateral. And I would just kind of run downhill as soon as the ball was snapped. But he sort of he let me play the way I wanted to play. So he was really, really good at just sort of letting me play ball, which was great. So
now let's talk briefly about the redshirt year that you had to take due to injury. Can you walk us through kind of what that was like, what happened, sideline, and then we'll get into your time at Washington State.
Yeah. So 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had this plantar fasciitis going on in my foot. Oh yeah. So I had that all summer, and it's kind of just bothering me. And then we played against Montana. I remember I pushed off to make a tackle, and I got up, and I was like, oh, that's weird. My foot just sort of felt like it was like burning on fire. To play the rest of the game, and I woke up and I had a nice bruise about this big on my foot. I was like, all right, so it's probably torn. So I was in the boot for a while. And then I think I came back for one more game towards the end of the season against Sac State. Cam Scadaboo was still there, so that was kind of fun to play
fumble against them.
Yeah. I don't know if it was on him, but yeah, he was pretty good at Sac State. He was a good player. But yeah, so I ended up redshirting, and then, which I'm grateful for. So now I got this last year. So
then walk us through your time at Washington State. You first get over to the Palouse spring practice, getting into their system. What was that experience like? I know you played in 13 games that year.
Yeah. Last year it was definitely, I would say, just sort of learning that defense. It was great to learn a defense as complicated as it was. I think, at Portland State, I was able to, like I said, just sort of just roam around and play ball. I think this defense last year was very like everything was gapped out. So it's like you have to fit here. So I think a little bit I wasn't able to kind of play the football I was playing at Portland State, but I'm very grateful for having to learn that defense, because now this defense feels okay. Now I can play ball a little bit and, play more fast and play free. So I think, I'm grateful for having to learn that defense for sure.
And then, kind of fast forward, bowl game ends. Obviously, a lot of unknown uncertainty. Coach Rogers enters the fold. How quickly did he or another member of the staff reach out to you, and how possible was the transfer out of here for you until you talked to them?
Well, so I was playing maybe 20 snaps a game last year. Buddha, he was a good player. He ended up transferring. So I kind of felt like in my mind, there was really no reason to transfer, because I felt like I was in a good position and to play as much as I wanted to play. So I kind of, Bobbit, I think, reached out to me a few days after the bowl game, talked on the phone, really liked him. So, it was maybe a thought at first of hitting the portal, but I think once I met Bobbit and talked to Rogers and the coaching staff, I think I was pretty locked in on staying. So, yeah.
And then I guess, Coach Bobbit, is handling the defensive side of things as well as the linebackers. So how hectic is it for him, or does he, compartmentalize everything for you guys, and you don't really see a big deal of him going in the linebackers room and also, seeing the overarching scale of the defense?
Yeah. I think he does a great job of just really coaching like the linebackers when we're in the meeting. He doesn't talk too much about the other positions. He's pretty focused on like what the linebackers are doing. But obviously, he is overseeing the whole defense. But he does a great job of letting us kind of play free while also doing our job. So, I would say he does a good job doing that.
And talk through a bit of Rogers, a no BS guy, a linebacker himself, kind of an undersized type guy throughout his career. What does he bring to the table, and what do you see from him?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's great that he's a defensive-minded head coach. And like you said, played linebacker, so he's always like behind us in the walkthroughs and stuff, and just telling us, hey, like, remember this, and he's just always kind of coaching us up. So it's cool. We got Rogers, and then we also got Bobbit to listen to, and they're both on the same page. So it's great.
How often is he in linebacker meetings for you guys, or is it maybe not as often?
Coach Rogers? Not very often. I think he misses it though. He definitely misses it. But no, he's not.
More of your coaching where he's just, hey, pre-snap in those practices, or like before the spring game, where he's kind of giving you those little tidbits.
Yeah. Or like after a practice, if we like kind of saw something or made a mistake, he's like, hey, like, remember like this. So he'll kind of just, I think he watches the linebackers pretty closely. Yeah. So no, it's good though. It's great.
Now, you played at a couple different levels. You played in the Big Sky with Portland State. You now are playing at Washington State in the Pac-12 this last season. A guy in Caleb Franzel is coming over from South Dakota State University from the FCS. I'm curious, with your overall perspective of the different levels, you could say, of college football that you've experienced so far, with the Big Sky, the Pac-12 talent, and then also seeing like a guy like Caleb Franzel, who is FCS coming over, how he compares to everything. What are your thoughts and opinions on the levels of college football, you could say?
I would say the jump of FCS to FBS is not what people think. I think the skill level is very similar. I think the biggest difference, and a lot of people will tell you this, is the O-line, D-line. Not only are they big, but they can move. So I think that's really the biggest difference between FCS to FBS. And Franzel, he's gonna do really good things in the system. So I'm excited to play alongside him. But I think all the guys that they brought from South Dakota State will transition just fine.
One thing I've all the ratings came out for college football 26. You obviously opted into the game. Can you give us any details on what you as a player are getting from College Football 26 in terms of free game, what the stipend was, or do you even know that still?
Yeah. I think we got about 1,500 for the game and then free game, which was great. Been using myself a little bit, missing too many tackles. But no, it's been fun. Yeah, I'm always going for the hit stick, so maybe I got to play it a little bit more conservative.
Stay lateral.
So, yeah.
Quite the bump from last year's payout, right? Was it 600 last year?
Yeah, it was definitely bumped up. I think it was something like 600. Yeah.
Now the other thing is I'm looking at the overalls. There's only 2 defenders over 80 overall. It seems like there's a little disrespect going on. They've got Caleb Francel 71 overall.
Yeah, crazy, right? Yeah.
Where would you put Caleb based off what you've seen from him rating wise?
Yeah, I think Franny should at least be high 70s, maybe 80 something. But yeah, hopefully they'll give a little boost during the season. We'll see.
Who's right now taking the cake, I guess, in terms of top in the locker room, tough to beat?
In NCAA?
Yeah.
Who's good? I know Tucker loses a lot. I'm roommates with Tucker, and he's always like mad about some games. So not him. I think Cale Reeder's pretty good from what I've been hearing. Yeah.
You know what we gotta get going with the Coug Collective is we've got to get maybe like a 32 or 64 player WSU tournament, and we'll get winnings, and that player who wins gets a nice little NIL check. Huh? How's that sound?
That would be pretty sweet. Yeah. That'd be great.
And then walk us through the linebacker room. You know, another senior is Keith Brown. There's a few other guys in there. Who are some of the standouts that we should be on the lookout for outside of yourself and Caleb?
Yeah, Keith Brown. Came in with him last year, so that's my guy. Yeah, Keith is going to be great. Anthony Polano is going to be a really good player, as well as Gage Jones at Sam and Carson Reynolds. Yeah, I mean, really everyone they brought from SDSU, I think is going to be really good here.
I've got a couple more games I want to ask you about from this last season, and then want to ask you about a couple games that are upcoming this season. Mm-hmm. Throwing it back to last year, the Apple Cup victory in Seattle, Lumen Field, you had 3 tackles in that game. First off, what was that experience, that game like for you?
Oh, it's pretty unreal. It was really cool playing at that stadium. It was packed, and obviously I was used to playing at Hillsborough Stadium with, a couple thousand fans. So it was pretty surreal. I remember looking up in the stands, like, wow, this is really cool. I think one time I kind of wandered off into the offensive huddle, and I was like, I'm in the offensive huddle. And the linebacker's like, Park, what are you doing? I was like, sorry. Oh, yeah, it was like first quarter. I was kind of just enjoying it. So, no, it was super cool, though.
What was it like to hoist the trophy, the Apple Cup trophy?
Oh, yeah, sick. I mean, I kind of wish I was here to maybe go through some of those losses so I could enjoy the win. But no, I definitely enjoyed the win. But yeah, I don't think I truly understood like the I guess the rivalry. But no, it was awesome. It was awesome.
And Connor, just to table off that, I have to ask, what are your guys' thoughts on Buddha? I mean, you guys are going to be facing him in the Apple Cup. Has there been any conversations, in terms of, some trash talk? What was the thought of him also ending up with that team out west?
Yeah. Buddha's a great player. I don't know. Maybe he had some connection at UW, but I think he's going to do great things there. Yeah, it'll definitely be fun to play him and see him talk a little trash. So I'm excited.
And then another big game was at Boise State. Dylan was actually at that game. It sounds like it was quite the atmosphere. Obviously, Ashton Jeanty, you're trying to stop him on the other side of the ball. What was that game like? What was it like trying to tackle Jeanty? Did you get a tackle on him? What was that?
Yeah, he was a great player. I think I tackled him. I only tackled him once. I don't think I missed a tackle on him, but I think the tackle I had, it was pretty. Someone bounced off of him and then I tackled him, so it wasn't like some hit stick in the A gap. But no, he was pretty good though. He definitely played. Yeah, I remember watching the it was the draft night, and I remember like 5 or 6 clips were against Washington State. I'm like, wow, hey, he had a game against us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there a moment on the sideline where maybe some of the defenders where it's like you're not like thinking, okay, hey, this is bad, but like you're like this is on a different level than what we expected it to be.
Yeah, because I think, all week we heard about him, and then we were kind of saying like, oh, he's not that good, guys, like, that kind of thing. And then, first drive, he breaks a 70-yard run or whatever it was. So I think, yeah, he probably surprised us. And I think we maybe made him look better than he was, but he was a good player for sure.
And then being from Oregon, from Beaverton, who was your team growing up college-wise? And then also, who did you watch in the NFL? Were you an Oregon State guy, a U of O guy? Because you guys played Oregon State last year also.
Yeah, I was a huge Duck fan, big
Okay.
Oregon fan. LaMichael James, Darren Thomas, DeAnthony Thomas, that whole era was awesome for me. And then NFL.
What about NFL? Yep.
Yeah. Honestly, I was never really a huge NFL fan. I got family in Ohio, so I've kind of claimed to be a Browns fan. I know they're not the best, but I do. If I see the Browns win, I'm pretty happy.
With you, having a couple East Coast games, Virginia, James Madison, is that a good opportunity for the fam in Ohio to make the trek towards Virginia?
Yeah, it's actually funny you say that. I was talking to my dad the other night, and I think some family from Ohio is going to come to that James Madison game. So yeah, that'd be cool for him.
And then you guys get the opportunity to play, I believe, 9 different conferences next year. You get the Big Ten, you get the SEC. What are you looking forward to the most? Is it the Ole Miss game? I mean, what game do you kind of have circled? Is it the Apple Cup?
Yeah, I think we have a chance to do some really special things with our schedule next year, and I'm super excited. I think Ole Miss is going to be a fun one just because I've never played at a SEC stadium, so that'll be pretty fun. And then, obviously the Apple Cup's going to be fun. I think Virginia will be pretty cool too. But we got a bunch of games that I think will be a lot of fun. So a lot of traveling, a lot of flying.
You'll be getting showcased basically around the entire country, so that'll definitely be cool to see. And if you're in awe at Lumen Field, at Ole Miss, SEC territory, packed house, I can only imagine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Well, Parker, really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on. It was great to hear a bit of your story and your journey, and looking forward to seeing you out there this fall.
All right. Appreciate you guys having me. Yep.
Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.